to try him. And his response is chilling. He says, he better be ready to die with me.
And that's the irony of his position. He doesn't want the conflict. He says, I don't even like asking now. He'd rather use diplomacy. But he's still absolutely ready. He mentions having a spot on me and this iron on me carrying a weapon.
It's fatalistic.
Completely. He's saying, I'm trying to move past this, but if you force my hand, I am willing to end it all.
And that metaphor about the mask, too. Till they hit your people, then the mask is out.
That is such a powerful image. The mask is his civility. It's the businessman just trying to eat.
Right.
But underneath is the soldier. And if you threaten his loved ones, his people, that civility just vanishes. The mask drops.
So his peaceful persona is a deliberate, strategic choice.
It's a learned behavior. And it's what allows him to walk this tightrope between the money and the future on one side and the violence and the past on the other. And what keeps him balanced seems to be his responsibility to the next generation.
Absolutely. The narrative shifts so heavily toward legacy and parenting in the second half.
Yeah.
He's not just surviving for himself anymore.
Right. He talks about the legal system, the judge hit him and he sat him down, and how that separates families. And he's desperate to make sure that doesn't happen to his circle.
But his method of ensuring that is, well, it's pretty controversial. There's this one interaction with a friend that I think just perfectly illustrates his philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
He says, we all needed a hand. I gave him a ban. Told him to kneel low and just live off the land.
I give him a ban. I mean, on the surface, that sounds incredibly harsh. A friend asks for help and you cut them off.
Bro, you groan. You can't live off my hand. It's extreme tough love. Some would call it cold.
But you have to connect it back to the intro. Remember the truck in the desert?
Of course.
The narrator prides himself on his ability to survive hostile environments. By telling his friend to live off the land, he is forcing that friend to develop the exact same survival muscles.
So he sees dependency as a weakness.
Worse, he sees it as a trap. If he carries his friend, that friend never learns how to walk on his own. He's refusing to enable helplessness. He's saying, I can show you how to survive, but I cannot survive for you.
And look how he applies that same logic to his own kids. He has these very specific and very distinct goals for them.
Right. For his daughter, he says, make sure my daughter don't live off no man.
Financial independence.
He doesn't want her to ever be in the position of that friend he had to ban. He wants her to have her own truck, so to speak.
And for his sons, it's different. Make sure my sons know their rights and their wrongs.
Moral and legal clarity. He wants to inoculate them against the system. He knows young men from his world are targets for the judicial system. He doesn't want his sons sat down by a judge because they were ignorant of the rules.
He's trying to break the cycle of the glass case. It's that classic survivor's dilemma. I suffered so you don't have to, but you have to be strong enough to stand on your own.
Humble as warriors, noble as men, as he says later. He wants them to be warriors, capable of fighting, but also noble enough to avoid the fight if they can.
So we've talked about all the external strategies, the business, the parenting, but we have to address his internal state because you can have the money, you can have the respect, but the lyrics admit there's a cost.
A cost that hasn't been paid off. Sick in the soul and there's no medicine.
That line is so heavy, and head is so heavy from sin.
This just cuts through any glorification. People often say hip-hop glamorizes this lifestyle. But right here, he's admitting there is no cure for what he's done and seen. The sin has a physical weight. It's literally making his head heavy.
And he even says, I don't even like rapping now.
Which is incredible. The very art form we are analyzing has become just another hustle.
A means to an end.
He says it's racks around. It's a job. He's doing it because it's the most efficient way to eat, not because he still loves the game. It's purely utilitarian now.
But despite the heavy head, despite the sick soul, he pulls this incredible psychological move on his own history. And this, for me, this was the aha moment of the whole text.
Oh, absolutely.
He says, that's because I had to take L after L. But I look at them and I see all my wins.
This is the core piece of wisdom in the entire text. I mean, let's break that down. An L is a loss, a robbery, a prison sentence, the death of a friend. Most people look at their L's with shame or regret.
They try to hide them, but he flips it completely.
He reframes it. It's a classic cognitive reframing technique. He looks at those same losses and he sees wins. Why? Because he survived them. Because those losses were the tuition he paid to learn how to survive the desert.
So the L isn't a failure, it's a prerequisite.
Exactly. He's realizing his resilience is built entirely out of those failures. Without the L, there is no win. Without the desert, there's no truck.
That is such a powerful tool for processing trauma.
Yeah.
It's not about erasing what happened.
It's about repurposing it. It's alchemy. He's turning the lead of his trauma into the gold of his character. He's saying, I am who I am because of what went wrong, not in spite of it.
So if we zoom out and look at this whole narrative,
Mm.
we've gone from the desert through the grief of the glass case, past the business pivot, we're into this heavy responsibility of fatherhood. What is end of the day really about?
I think the title gives it away. At the end of the day, it's about the bottom line. When all the noise stops, when the friends are gone, what's left? And this text presents a man who has transitioned from a soldier to a general.
A general.
Yeah, a soldier fights for reputation because he's told to. A general fights to protect the territory so his family can grow in peace.
It's a story of maturation.
It is. It's about realizing eating is more important than being right, and that the only way to honor the friends behind the glass case is to make sure you and the people around you don't end up there too.
I'm going to make sure that we straight, as he says.
But only if they can live off the land. He'll show them the way, but he won't carry them. He can't afford that weight.
It's tough, but it's fair. You know, we started this asking what it takes to have the confidence to be dropped in a desert and just say, I'll be back.
And the answer seems to be, it takes surviving a lot of L's. It takes losing friends and realizing your survival is a responsibility, not just luck.
I love that idea, that your resilience is just the receipt for all the trouble you've been through. It's proof of purchase.
That's a great way to put it. You earned the truck.
So here's something for you to think about. The narrator says he looks at his L's and sees his wins. In your own life, your career, relationships, whatever, you've taken some L's. We all have. But what if you stopped looking at them as failures or lost time or embarrassments and instead saw them as the necessary purchase price for the strength you have right now? How would that change your life story?
It might just make the desert look a little less scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Find your truck, load it up. We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Take care.